It all happened so fast. One moment, Raymond Ray Thomas was walking down the empty Brooklyn street, his footsteps echoing against the cracked pavement. The next, the screeching sound of tires cutting through the night shattered the stillness. He didn't need to turn around and know the car was for him. The black SUV rolled to a stop behind him, its tinted windows masking the occupants inside. Ray's heart thudded in his chest. He had always trusted his instincts, and tonight they were screaming at him, "Run." But before he could take a step, two men emerged from the car, tall, suited, and dangerous. One was in his late 30s, wearing a dark navy suit and gold watch, an aura of power surrounding him. The other was taller, leaner, his cold eyes giving nothing away. Both men looked at him like he was prey, and he was about to be cornered. "Raymond Thomas," the man in the navy suit called, his voice smooth but commanding. "We need to talk." Ray didn't flinch. He knew exactly who they were, high-level enforcers for the biggest drug cartel in the city. The same cartel he had once been part of, but had worked hard to escape. His past had found him, and now it was coming to collect. Ray's instincts kicked in. He clenched his fists, feeling the weight of the gun hidden beneath his jacket, but he kept his hands by his sides, playing it cool. Running wasn't an option. He wasn't going to give them that satisfaction. "I don't have anything to say," Ray replied, his voice steady despite the adrenaline pumping through his veins. The man in the suit smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "That's cute, Ray, but it's not up to you. You don't get to walk away from this. You're involved in something bigger than you now." Ray could feel his body tense, the familiar rush of fear and anger flooding his veins. "I'm out. I'm done," he said, his voice firm but laced with the truth he had lived by for months. He wasn't the same person he had been. He'd changed. He had to. The taller man stepped forward, his expression hardening. "You think you can just leave and forget about the debts you owe? You're wrong, Ray. The game doesn't let you go that easily." The cold fear in Ray's chest turned to something sharper. "I don't owe you anything." The man with the gold watch raised an eyebrow, unfazed. He pulled something from his coat pocket and tossed it at Ray's feet. It was a photograph. Ray's younger sister, Tamara, smiling at a family gathering. His heart stopped. "You like your sister?" The man asked, his tone casual, but the threat was clear. Ray's blood ran cold. "What are you talking about?" "She's a sweet girl," the man continued, his smile widening. "Would be a shame if anything happened to her, don't you think?" Ray took a slow, measured breath. The last thing he wanted was for anyone to hurt Tamara. She was the only family he had left, the only thing that kept him grounded, and they knew it. "Leave her out of this," Ray growled, his hand slipping to the gun at his side, but he kept his movements controlled. He knew if he made the first move, it could be over in seconds. The man in the suit laughed, the sound cutting through the tension. "You think you're in control? You think you have any power here? You're nothing but a pawn, Ray." Ray didn't say anything, his mind racing. They had him trapped, and he knew it. The only option left was survival, and survival meant playing their game, even if it meant bending the rules. "Do you think you're going to intimidate me?" Ray asked, his voice low but cold. The man with the gold watch stepped closer. "You think you can walk away from this without paying the price?" "No one walks away, Ray. No one." Suddenly, there was movement behind him. Ray's heart skipped a beat, and his head snapped around. Another figure stepped out of the shadows, a tall man in a black suit. His face was partially obscured by the darkness, but the authority he carried was undeniable. The two enforcers tensed, their entire posture shifting, as if recognizing the man. The man's eyes locked onto Ray, and for a moment, Ray thought he recognized him. An older figure, someone connected to the underworld but with a sense of respect for power. Someone who had the kind of control Ray had once dreamed of having. The new man's voice cut through the tension like a knife. "Enough," he said, his voice calm but firm. "You're making a mistake." The suited man turned to him, his expression one of frustration mixed with fear. "This doesn't concern you, Thompson. Stay out of it." Ray could see the shift in the air. The new man, Thompson, was the one with the power here. The enforcer stepped back, visibly nervous, as if they were no longer in control of the situation. Ray had a moment to breathe, a split second to collect himself. Thompson stepped closer, his gaze never leaving Ray. "I'm going to make this simple," he said, his voice unwavering. "Ray doesn't owe you a damn thing. You've lost. Walk away." Ray watched in disbelief as the two enforcers stumbled backward, the grip on their power slipping. They didn't argue, didn't fight back. They turned and left without another word, their heads low. Ray stood there, his heart still racing, but now with a sense of relief. Thompson had saved him, but there was no gratitude in Ray's chest, only a deep, unsettling realization. The price of survival in this world wasn't just about money or loyalty. It was about understanding who had the real power and how easily it could slip away. As the SUV drove off, Ray's hand hovered near his gun, but he didn't draw it. He didn't need to. Tonight, survival had a new price. In the game of survival, power dynamics are constantly shifting. Ray learned that control is often an illusion. What matters is knowing who holds the cards. Tonight, he survived, but the price he paid was more than he'd ever imagined. The real question was, how long could he keep surviving in a world where the rules kept changing? Life has a way of testing your limits, of pushing you to the edge. Sometimes, survival isn't about fighting harder or running faster. Sometimes, it's about understanding that the game is bigger than you. Power isn't always what you think it is. Sometimes, it's about knowing who to trust and who to walk away from. The next time life gives you a choice, think carefully about the price you're willing to pay. Because survival has its costs, and no one ever gets out unscathed. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe.